to make some currant rolls. Grab your favorite brand of currants. Juicy. Depends on how many currant rolls you want. You measure out. I'm saying this is about 150 grams. One, 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. Mix that in real good. Your currants. At this stage, some people, if you have rum, will add the rum. Kinds of your favorite liquid drink, apple juice, just a little bit to wet it up, but I like to put cinnamon. Just a little bit. And that'll do. Mix it up real good. Combine your ingredients properly. Once that's done, put that aside, and we're making a quick currant roll. So it's a midweek. So I'm using Puff Pastry. This is my favorite brand. It's because it's a good quality brand and they use real butter. It is Australia's favorite, so let's see how we go. I put this down to defrost and they come like this. This is Puff Pastry. So that means when it bakes, it will puff up. Alright, so there's a plastic covering at the back. Remove that. Make sure it's fully defrosted. Get some butter. Get your spatula. Butter's too hard. It's got to soften up. Let's see if this is softened up a bit. Tablespoon of butter. Don't need a whole lot because there's already a lot of butter in the pastry. I'm trying to use my spatula, but it's not working, so I'll use my hand and I will just spread this butter along with my hand. And this is just to give the currant something to stick to. Don't even need that much. You only need enough to make a thin layer on the top. And then you take your currant and sugar mixture and you sprinkle it lightly across the pastry. You don't need a whole lot, but you don't need too little either. Cover every square inch that you can with your sugar and currant mixture. This is one of my favorites. Great for this time of year where it's getting cold and you need something to go with your cup of tea. And sometimes you just don't want a biscuit, you just want something different. So I'm gonna press that in, and this is the roll part of currant roll. So this is a square, so it doesn't really matter where we start, but for some reason I'm starting in this corner because it's probably easier, and I'm just gonna roll it. It's as tight as you can. But not too tight, so you don't want to break your pastry up. Here we go with our roll. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Oops, a bit too rough. There we go. We want to close off the edges, extra. Close off the edge. And then we want to take our knife. Well, we don't want to slice it yet. We're actually going to bake it like this and slice it after we bake it. My baking tray. I got these at IKEA, sustainable. I don't have to buy baking paper, and I don't have to throw any baking paper away. Put it in my baking tray. A little bit too big, but it suits just fine. And I'll put my currant roll in here like this, and then I'll do another one. Pastry. Get the plastic off the back. They all have this plastic once they're pre-made. Spread a little butter on there just to get it to stick. I know some people like to mix in the butter with the currants and just make a spread, or make a cinnamon butter spread. This is the way I do it. It works for me. Might work for you too. Just gonna dump all the rest in the middle, and then I'm going to strategically spread it around the puff pastry dough and press it down while I'm doing that. Just give it a nice, good, even spread. Press, spread and press, spread and press. And now I'm going to roll it. As tight as I can. Tucking the edges in. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as you do it, you kind of get your own technique and you get the hang of it. I used to get these when I was a kid growing up from the bakery across from where my mom worked. Loved them. When I found out how to make them, I was kind of brokenhearted because making puff pastry is so hard. But I did it. Then I found out that you can buy puff pastry, and it's just as good as any. So I've done it both ways. I've made my own, and I have purchased. So here we go. We have 2 rolls here. I'm going to try to see if I can cover up these holes. Now you can sprinkle it with sugar, but I don't think it needs it. It's gonna have a lot of sugar in there. So here we go. This is going to the oven, 180 degrees for about 20 minutes to start with, and it depends on your dough. If you make your dough, then you might need to leave it longer, but this is kind of cold and it's very good to handle, and I may not need to leave it in. But to start with, feel your way, 180 degrees, 20 minutes. I'll come back and the currant rolls are out of the oven. This is how they look. I've already cut one up, sliced them, and I'm going to show you how we do it. This is the end result of one being sliced up. I'm going to show you the outcome. Just putting it on a dish like this. It's still warm. I'll let it cool down from the oven. Then I sliced it. See how flaky the crust is? That's why you need to use a good puff pastry for this recipe. This is why it's good with a cup of tea, a little pastry. It's almost like a little croissant. Little croissant, I should say. Proper French croissant. Don't want to lose any of this precious crumb. Voila. This is what the finished product look like, straight from the oven. A little bit of seepage from the sugar. Discard that. Then we try to use a nice sharp knife and cut it on the diagonal. See how flaky that is. You can cut them as thick or as thin as you want on the diagonal. I like to steal this little bit right here. Oh, yum. The end bit. Put the rest of it here to cool down even further. Get a little bit firmer. Save this end bit for myself. Here we go. And here you have it, your currant rolls. Put that in a biscuit tin or in Tupperware, wrap it in plastic. Most likely use Tupperware because I don't want to have to keep buying plastic and put in plastic in the environment. Great snack, afternoon tea, morning tea, snack. Different thing to try than a biscuit. Look at this. Flaky, buttery. It's delicious. Give it a try. It's a West Indian treat. We love it. I make it probably in the winter time mostly. Very tasty, not too sweet. Currant rolls. Bon manger.